So why are you at the Yellow Boards protest today?
Well, mainly because of freedom and the worry about my granddaughters, even though at the moment they're under the age for the I'm sure that they're going to be next, and that's been our main worry. And I've been coming, I started coming to stand in the park after we did a London march and found out about it. That was about April last year, and I've been sort of coming ever since. And you know, I feel I've got to do something. And my wife, she's been coming as well, so we sort of both woke up to this together, really, and both have the same worries.
And what do you think about the at the moment?
Well, the very first thing that came to my mind was before even the was said to be, you know, here, but they kept on about when we have the we better get out of this, and you know, it was as if they already knew that there was and what came to my mind was depopulation, really. That was the first thing that came into my head. And I think it's partly for control, and not only for control of the people, but they also want to control when people die. And I think that's the idea of the and everything to do with which isn't a at all, really, is it? So, yeah.
How do you feel about the mainstream coverage throughout the entire at the moment?
That's what originally alerted my suspicions, because when I first became aware of it in January 2020 with a Sky News item about what was happening in Wuhan. And when I got home, I searched the BBC and ITV and that, and couldn't find anything. And I went on YouTube and found a video by a guy called Dr. Chris Martinson, and he was quite worried about it, and gave quite a bit of information on the statistics he's had. He runs a website called Peak Prosperity, and he's since woken up as well to what's going on. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his videos.
Not
yeah, and he's also with Brett Wernstein quite a bit. And yeah, so at the time the BBC wasn't covering any of it, and then all of a sudden, about February, March, they started talking about it, and they weren't having any open debate, they were just following the government narrative, and it just didn't seem right. And I was hearing about other doctors like Dr. Mike Yeadon, who I'm sure everybody knows about, and he was originally being interviewed on, I'm not sure if he was ever interviewed on the BBC, but he was interviewed quite often on talk radio, and then he was suddenly dropped and blanked out. And another thing, I used to listen to Radio 5 in the mornings while I did a workout and that. And I think her name was Emma Barnett, who used to do a talk show in the morning. And someone called in and mentioned something about she suddenly said, I'm not allowed to talk to anti they were even using that term then, back in early 2020, and she said it's BBC policy not to talk about this subject. And I just thought, yeah. And apparently she got disciplined over that and removed, but I think she went on to Woman's Hour. I think that was Emma Barnett, but I might be mistaken about the surname. But, yeah.
And what do you think about the Boris parties that are now being released?
Just a smokescreen. just a distraction. But the worrying thing is that the latest distraction is the Ukraine. And I don't know whether this is a reasonable thing to think, but are they, do they realise now they're losing the control they had over this, and they're now going to steer us into a world war, which, you know, I think they're perfectly capable of doing. And when you dig down deep into the history of the Second World War and the First World War and various the Bolshevik Revolution, there was a certain families which seem to be involved in the planning of it all. But that's another rabbit hole. I've been down a lot now. And,
what do you think about the U-turn that Boris has now made on restrictions and mandates and everything?
Yeah, that was quite puzzling, and it's now happened in Denmark, Norway, Sweden and Finland, and I don't know, is it because of this war that we're going to be plunged into with Russia, or have they got another they're waiting for to scare everyone with? Because the majority of the population, as you well know, are still sold on this, you know, scared of the cold. You know? There you go.